Morena. Happy Monday. Now, I've opened up my planner this morning on page 88 for Monday the 17th. And do you know what? The quote here, my favourite quote of all time, Oriah Mountain Dreamer. I want to know if you can disappoint another in order to be true to yourself. I want to know. Isn't that the best? I love that question. It's a question that I think for middle age, it definitely pops up a lot for us. But I'm trying to teach my younger folk about this. And how often do you disappoint yourself because you have been trained, don't use that word lightly, we've been trained into doing what every other fucker wants, doing what everyone else wants. So pleasing other people becomes our thing, right? That's what we end up doing. And we end up not being true to ourselves. We end up doing the things we don't want to do. And it's been a theme for me for a long time. So I read The Invitation. It's in my energy book, The Invitation. I got permission from Oriah to print that. It's also in, what else is it in? It's on the internet. You can find it on the Pinterest. If you just type up The Invitation, Oriah Mountain Dreamer, ORIAH, you will find it. And the whole poem is extraordinary. And she wrote it one night after being out with her husband at like a bloody networking drinks thing and was completely disillusioned by what fuckwits people are and how they just care about like boring shit like where did you go to school and how much money do you earn and, you know, what are you qualified in instead of what really matters. And my favourite line from it is that line, I want to know if you can disappoint another to be true to yourself. And it's really about bringing yourself to the front. And people ask me all the time, oh, is that selfish? And I'm like, no, I think it's self-full. Right? So being self-full means you fill yourself, which is that shitty old metaphor about putting your own mask on first, blah, 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 but you're literally filling yourself. So I love that. And I've got some life-filling activities this week, which I'm pretty excited about. So off to Auckland. I've got to start the day, though, at the bank. I've got my poor parents are having a terrible time with the phone, the computer, the technology, and it's been a lot. My God, has it been a lot. So my mum had a hacker. Now, that's just me. Hackers should not be able to phone people who don't understand what even hackers do, right? So when you're close to 80, and it's just mean. Anyway, so the funny thing, it's kind of not funny, but of course, I try and find things funny because it keeps me sane. So my mum gets a call from a hacker. My father rings the bank, shuts the bank down. Then because my father, is dabbling with a little bit of memory loss, it's a lot. So he is then trying to get into his internet banking, forgetting that he's phoned the bank instead we're being hacked. And they now think he's the hacker. So he's been denied access because of multiple attempts to access the account. So then I have to explain all that. Then we have to go to the bank. Then we have to get all new cards issued. And then, of course, there's the issue between the PIN number, the access number, the account number. No one knows what anything is. Oh, fuck me. So we've spent all of Friday organising that. I tell you. Then we had to change the passwords for everything. It's really mean and it's really hard. I don't know anyone who doesn't struggle with passwords. Well, actually, I've got a couple of fucking geeky friends that are all about it, and they have these password things. But most people I know really struggle with passwords and struggle with the idea of what password to use or remember. And, it's like, well, you have to put your password in, and it's got to have 2 capital letters and a fucking hair off a camel's toe. It's like ridiculous what you have to put in, and you can't put this and you have to put that, and it's got to have a character or a lowercase or an uppercase, and then I don't know about you, but I can't remember. And then there's there's apps. I know there's apps, but then I've got to have a password to get into that fucking app too, don't I? And then, oh my God. Anyway. So as if that world's not hard enough, trying to navigate 2 nearly 80-year-olds into it, that's a full-time job, just saying, people. So that'll be my morning. Whew, that's a lot, isn't it? That's a lot. This age, it's not for the faint-hearted. Anyway, then I'm off to Auckland. Then I'll be on a plane. So that'll be nice. And then I'm having dinner with my friend from Australia, from Brisbane. So that's going to be lovely. Ahead of a big conference. And I'm emceeing a whole day at the Hilton on Tuesday. Very excited. It's the Culture Summit, and it's very exciting, and there's some fucking amazing speakers, and I get to weave my magic in between. So emceeing's a really big job, and I don't do a lot of it because it's actually exhausting. It's a really hard job, because as a keynote speaker, you can go and be amazing and fucking swan around for 45 minutes and leave. But when you're an MC, you've got to take people on a whole day journey. You've got to kind of weave your way through. You've got to support them when the last speaker was shit. You've got to try and help them make sense if the speaker made no sense, if he confused them, or she, Anyway, luckily, we've only got very good speakers, so I'm not going to have that problem on Tuesday. But I get to weave the day, so it's a very long day, but it'll be lovely. So lots of business leaders from all over Auckland and possibly all over New Zealand will be at that, and I get to work with amazing people who are going to be speaking at that event. And luckily, I know nearly all of them, so I'm pretty excited to spend that day learning about that, right? I love the idea of, I love culture. I think culture is like so important because it's really what makes everything tick, right? If you've got a shit culture, just might as well stay home, forget it, because it's awful. We've all worked in bad cultures and they're horrible. And I think leaders getting clearer on the culture that they want and actually leaning into. It's more than a value statement on the wall, people, right? It's a big deal. So anyway, that's that. Then it's my daughter's birthday on Wednesday. So that's a bit cute. And I've got meetings. I'm off to see the team at Celebrity Speakers. Ask if I can be a celebrity. No, I'm joking. Anyway, I go and catch up with them every now and then to find out, what they're looking for, what's going on. I've got all new speaking topics this year. It's pretty exciting. So I've developed 4 brand new keynotes, and I'm out hustling them out in the world. So I thought I'd go and update the team at Celebrity Speakers. So I've got a lovely meeting there, coffee in the morning, then client meetings in the afternoon, and then I'll tattoo home. So I've just packed for all that, because after I've been to the bank, I've got to walk to the airport. So packing for what I feel like wearing. And really my biggest stress with packing is currently my feet. Currently, what shoes can I wear for a whole day that are not going to kill me? That's my new kind of postmenopausal drama. Yes. So then Thursday, I'm running a webinar for the New Zealand Kindergarten Association, all those incredible teachers who look after all of our beautiful little poppets, and just putting a bit of love back into them, because they are constantly giving, to kids and parents. And so anyway, that's my job. I've got a call in the evening. I'm very excited with the women who I am taking to China, the women who are coming with me to Shanghai in May, and we're going to be having a little bit of a catch up on what we're going to be up to, and I'll be answering all the questions, because there's a lot of questions. And some people are quite nervous kind of travellers, and they get a bit wiggy about like, ooh, what will happen? Ooh. I've had one woman say to me, oh, could you carry my passport for me? Because my husband always carries my passport when we travel. I thought, no, fuck off. I'm not carrying your fucking passport. You're old enough to go overseas. Carry your own passport, right? Oh, dear. Anyway, so we won't have any high maintenance ones like that. But and then we get to answer all the questions, because we do so much shopping. So they need to know what to bring. Like you've got to bring for example, you've got to get your glasses prescription updated, because we go and get optical lenses. So you want a new prescription that you can bring, and you need to bring like favorite clothing if you want something, made that's the same size or shape or blah, blah, blah. How much fun is that going to be? Right? So that's going to be exciting, because I get to get excited on their behalf watching them do this for the first time. Like I love taking people places for the first time. Like that's one of my favourite things to do. I often take Australian business leaders to the Coromandel or Queenstown, to, extraordinary parts of our country on retreats and offsites and things. And it's such an amazing experience to watch these people see this shit for the first time. We so take our country for granted, because when you're from New Zealand, you're like, oh, yeah, beautiful. Yeah, love that. Yeah, beautiful. Let's go, off we go, bit of the Coromandel. But when you have never seen the Coromandel before, it's like so fucking extraordinary. I went to Hobart for a conference and everyone raved on about, oh my God, you're going to love Hobart. Oh my God, you just wait. You've never seen anything like it. I was really disappointed. I was like, it's not even that good. They're like, oh, but what about, all the great? I'm like, well, it's not, it's nice, but fuck, it's got nothing on New Zealand. We're so lucky, aren't we? So anyway, that's that. And then Friday's a whole day of mentoring. And then my beautiful cousin Riwi's coming to visit, and my auntie. And I haven't seen my cousin for a very long time. So I'm looking forward to sitting down and having a little catch up and a korero with him. And that is me. And then my son has a very big trial. He's trialing for the New Zealand Taekwondo team. And we've been doing lots of camps and lots of trials, left, right, and bloody centre. And he's a big weekend of that. So then my focus will be on supporting him, getting him all tip-top and feeling good as they build up to their campaign to go to the World Champs in Croatia. Isn't that exciting? Isn't that the coolest thing? How cool is that as a teenager to be around all those high-performing people doing high-performing bloody things? I love that. So that's it. Bit of high performance, bit of culture, bit of bloody, what else? Bit of dinner, bit of everything. A few meetings. And how can I be true to myself? That's going to be my theme. That's why I put these quotes in my planner, because they anchor me. They just remind me, because I love quotes and I love inspiration. But I know that I need something when I open my planner each week just to go, what do I need to remember this week while I'm working on my focuses? And I'm like, okay, well, thank you, universe. My focus this week is to get ready to know whether I can disappoint another in order to be true to myself. See, last week's quote was about getting in charge of your bedtime. I did that. So these are little reminders I put in my planner for myself. You're welcome to borrow them as well, but they're really all just for me. So I like that. So I'm like, right, that's a good quote. Disappointed. People might get disappointed. Look out. If you're in my life, you might get disappointed this week. Oh, well, you'll get over it. Right, that's what happens. So have a beautiful week. Have a lovely week. We've also got to start thinking about your Easter gifts. I've already started. That's what I've got a note in my planner. What are you doing for Easter? What are you buying for Easter? Do you even do Easter? Are you an Easter gift person? Once I went all out, I had an Easter tree. Oh, my family said, for fuck's sake, it's not Christmas. I had an Easter tree covered in eggs and bunnies, and it was so cute. So I don't know if I've got the energy for this Easter for that. I don't know if I can be bothered, but I've got a bit of time. But you need to think about your Easter gifting because, the good stuff goes. So get busy with the Easter gifts. What are you buying? What are you giving? When my kids were little, because I didn't want them having too much sugar, it was so good. You can borrow this idea. If you have young children, one grandma bought all the children a new dressing gown, right, for Easter. So they all got so excited because they got a dressing gown. So instead of a fucking egg, a chocolate Easter egg or a bunch of shit, they got a dressing gown, which was very helpful. And they grew out of them every year, so they needed one. And then the other grandma bought them pajamas or slippers. Sometimes they alternated. But it was a really good gift because you're going into winter where you're going to need it, in the chilly willy. And that was what they got. And it was so much fun to get given those things at Easter. Jammies, slippers, winter jammies, and a winter dressing gown. Don't you love that? So there you go. You don't have to give chocolate, but it is quite fun. What are you doing for Easter? I always make an Easter cake or an Easter, Easter muffins or something gorgeously Easter. So there you go. Think about Easter. The Easter bunny's on his way. Have a lovely week. Bye.